Grand Rising. Come on in, family. Elder back with you once again. We have an exciting lesson today, family. So grab your pen, your paper, and your scriptures and follow along with me in today's exciting lesson. We are going back to the Garden of Eden, and we're going to allow Yahushua, whom the world calls Christ himself, to explain to us exactly what took place in the garden. In the book of Matthew, chapter 13, verse 35, Yahushua says, I will utter things which have been kept secret from the foundation of the world. And what is this secret, family? That search as you may, you will never see Cain listed in Adam's genealogy because Cain was not Adam's son. There's a phenomenon that happens to this very day, and we have a video clip that I will share with you in this lesson where women have twins that have been fathered by two different men. And this is exactly what took place in the garden. And we're going to allow the scriptures to explain this to us in great detail. So grab your pen, your paper, and open your scriptures and follow along with me in today's lesson. Let us go back to the garden, book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 1 through 15. Write these down, family. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yahuwah Elohim have made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath Elohim said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat the fruit of the trees of the garden, but the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Elohim have said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall you touch it, lest you die. And the woman said unto the serpent, and the serpent said unto the woman, Ye shall not surely die, for Elohim doeth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be like Elohim, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree, listen to verse 6, open your minds, put away the traditions of men and the false thing that you have been taught in many of these Christian churches all of your lives. Let's allow the scriptures to explain what is going on. Verse 6 again from the top. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together and made aprons. Notice the part of the body they're covering, their lower extremities, their reproductive organs, and made themselves aprons. Verse 8. And they heard the voice of Yahuwah Elohim walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of Yahuwah Elohim amongst the trees of the garden. And Yahuwah Elohim called unto Adam and said unto him, Where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, and I hid myself. And he said, Who told thee that thou wast naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? And the man said, The woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. And Yahuwah Elohim said unto the woman, what is this that thou hast done? And the serpent said to the woman, and the woman said, the serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. And Yahuwah Elohim said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. Verse 15 is key, family. Write this down, highlight, make a mental note. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. Women do not have seed. Women are born with every egg they'll ever have in their life. And every month when they ovulate and go through their cycle, they pass an egg until they reach menopause. So women are not born with seed. So why does it say, I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed? So the serpent has a seed, and we're getting ready to prove this. You see, Kawa is Eve's true name. When she was talking to this glorious being in the garden, it was not a snake-like figure. And according to my previous lesson, if you have not seen this, Ezekiel 28 verses 1 through 17 and Ezekiel 31 verse 2 through 9, he is Yahuwah Elohim's most beautiful creation. The one whom you call Satan. So when it says she saw this tree and it was beautiful and one to be desired, Satan is a glorious, handsome being, Yahuwah Elohim's most beautiful creation. So this is what she was looking at in the garden. Let us go to the book of Luke, chapter 10. And let's look at verse 18. Write this down, family, and read along with me, please. And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven, or Shamayim. So he was kicked out of heaven, you see. The next passage we want to prove to show you exactly where Satan is. Book of Job, chapter 1, let's look at verse 7 and 8, family. And Yahuwah said unto Satan, whence comest thou? Then Satan answered and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. So where is Satan at? He originally was in heaven, but he was kicked out onto earth. Book of Hazun or Revelations chapter 12, verse 7. And there was a war in heaven, or Shamayim, and Michael and his Malachims or angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought against his angels or Malachims, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven or Shamayim. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent that is called the devil, that is called Satan, which did what, family? Deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. So according to Luke 10:18, Revelations 12:9 and 10, Job chapter 1 verse 7 and 8, Satan was right here on earth, and he was in the garden with Eve or Kawa. Book of Yeshayahu or Isaiah, chapter 14. Let's read verses 12 through 16. Then we're going to allow Yahushua himself to explain what took place in the garden. How art thou fallen from heaven, or Shamaim, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of El. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the cloud. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to Sheol, to the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, Is this the man that made the earth tremble and the kingdoms to shake? So this is who Eve was in the garden talking to. This is who deceived and beguiled her. Can you not see why she was so attracted and enamored by this beautiful, intelligent, or should I say handsome, because it's a male, intelligent being? This is who was in the garden talking with her. Let us now go to the book of Matthew, or Matit Yahu, and we're going to let our Messiah, Yahushua, whom the world calls Christ, to fully explain to us in detail exactly what took place in the garden. So if you don't trust my words, will you trust the Messiah's? Let's go to the book of Matthew and let Yahushua, whom the world calls Christ, explain exactly what took place in the garden. Book of Matthew. Write these down and read along with me, family, please. Chapter 13. Let's pick this up at verse 24. Another parable put forth unto them, saying, The kingdom of Shamaim, or heaven, is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. So what is Yahushua explaining here? Exactly what took place in the garden when Adam was away from Kawa or Eve. She was continually engaging in conversation with the one whom the world calls Satan, and she was deceived and beguiled by him. Let's allow the Messiah to further explain. Still in the book of Matityahu, or Matthew chapter 13, let us go to verse 34, and we're going to read down to verse 39. All these things spake Yahushua unto the multitude in parables, and without a parable spake he not unto them, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophet, saying, I will open my mouth in parables, I will utter things which have been kept secret from the foundations of the world. Then Yahushua sent the multitude away and went into the house. And his disciples came unto him, saying, Declare unto us the parable of the tares of the field. Listen. He answered and said unto them, He that soweth the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world. The good seed, listen, verse 38. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. Let us look at this word seed using an interlinear Bible. We're going to trace this back to the original Koine Greek word. Book of Matthew, chapter 13. Let us look at, this is an interlinear Bible, family, which you can pull up online. And what an interlinear Bible does, It takes every word that are in our modern scriptures, Old and New Testament, and it traces them back to the original Hebrew or Abari and the original Koine Greek that our New Testament was written in. You see, when the Bible was completed, the New Testament was completely written in the first century. The book of Revelation was completed or written by the year 96 or 98 AD. The English language that we now speak did not exist anywhere on the planet until after 500 years after the New Testament was written and completed. So if you are simply reading your scriptures or Bibles in English and you never trace it back to the original Koine Greek or Abari Hebrew, you will never fully understand what is written in the scriptures, because the English language, for the most part, kind of does a disservice to what was written in the original Koine and Abari Hebrew manuscripts. Let me get to this. Matthew 13, right? Moreover, answer, he said, the one sowing the good seed, you see it there. Let's touch on this word seed, family. See it here, 4690. Let's touch on it. Look at what it says. SPERMA. What is that? Sperma. Seed, offspring, descendants, posterity, descendants, seed, children. So you have the good seed, which is the seed of Adam, and then you have the seed of the wicked, which is sperma. See, people try to spiritualize this away. No, this is not spiritual. This is physical. Let's get more on this. Look here. Something sown, i.e. seed, including, you see it clearly on the screen. Do I need to say it? You see it. So this isn't spiritual. This is physical. Adam has a physical seed on earth, and so does the one whom the world calls the devil, has a physical seed on earth. So now that we've laid the foundation that the word seed in Matthew 13:37 has to do with children and descendants, sperma, we now see that this isn't spiritual. This is physical. Adam has a physical seed on earth, and so does the one whom the world calls Satan. Verse 38, the field is the world, the good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. See where it says the field is the world. The field is symbolic of a woman's body. So Adam has a physical seed on earth, and so does the one whom the world calls Satan have a physical seed on earth. As it states in Leviticus or Wayikra 19:19, thou shalt not sow thy field with mingled seed. Then Jeremiah 3:1 uses an analogy of the land or the field being symbolic to a woman's body. Women have eggs, men have seed. There is a physical seed of Adam on earth, and there's a physical seed of Satan. So this is why Yahushua says, I will utter things which have been kept secret from the foundations of the world, that Cain was never Adam's son, but actually the son of the one whom the world calls the devil. Let me give you a real life modern example of a woman or women having twins, but the twins have different fathers. And this is exactly what took place in the garden. Pay attention, fair use.
A special connection, something our next guests, sisters Michelle and Lavinia Osborne, know only too well.
However, despite being born just minutes apart, they were shocked when DNA results revealed an extremely rare phenomenon. They actually have different dads.
Yeah, we're going to speak to Dr. Zoe in just a moment, just about how rare and how it can even happen in just a moment. First, though, Michelle and Lavinia join us. Lovely to see you both. Thank you for joining us today. Everyone is so fascinated by your story. Michelle, you grew up as twins. You never had any reason to believe that you and Lavinia weren't twins?
No inkling at all. We are, as we always were, twins. And it's just the small details that have blown into this huge thing.
Yeah. And Lavinia, as I was saying, twins tend to have a connection. They tend to feel the same things that their twin can feel. They tend to sense the same thing. And the two of you, you've always felt like you've got that connection as well.
100%. I think Michelle and I's lives has always been quite parallel, but different. I lived in Barcelona for a while. She lived in Iceland, so total opposite, but around about the same time. We're both entrepreneurial, but in very different ways. Like, she's more handsy, I'm more
cerebral.
Yeah, you could say that. So yeah, we are very similar but different.
So, Michelle, how did you grow up? Who was in your family?
So we were raised by a lady that we called Grandma.
Yeah.
Whilst our mother was away studying. And so we grew up in Nottingham, in a place called the Meadows, and as you can imagine, very picturesque and green.
Yeah.
But, you know, with all life's journeys, we had our trials and tribulations because we weren't with our mum.
Did you have a close relationship with her, though, or was it not so close?
So it was a difficult one because she wasn't around. She was in London whilst we were in Nottingham. So the closeness that we did have was amongst each other as twins, and that was our primary bond, wasn't it? And then our secondary bond was to the lady we called Grandma. But Lavinia always hankered after our mum and missed. She missed Mummy so much, and it was like a period of about 5 years that we didn't live with her. So I know that had a really strong effect on her, whereas I kind of just attached myself to my twin time frame, and I kind of wanted to expedite and open my present straight away.
You need your answers now.
Yes.
It's an extraordinary thing, Zoe.
Wow.
I like just listening to the girls talk, and clearly, biologically, they might not be twins, but there is a connection here that is apparent for all of us to see, and they massively still feel connected like twins. But what an extraordinary thing. How very rare, I should imagine.
I mean, I noticed they were finishing each other's sentences. So they absolutely. So they are twins. And how non-identical twins come about is a woman releases 2 eggs, and those 2 eggs are fertilized by 2 different sperm, typically from the same father. In this scenario, those 2 sperms came from different fathers. And those acts of intercourse could have been up to 6 days apart, because that's how long the window is. So sperm can survive inside the female body for up to 5 days.
That's what
and
happened
once the egg's
in the
released,
garden.
it has 24 hours. So essentially, they are non-identical twins, just that they have different fathers. And it's
This is Regina.
Listen.
Regina has beautiful twin boys named Darian and Nikolai. Now, but when she looks at her twins, and they're fraternal twins,
Listen.
she feels both confusion and shame because, you see, Regina planned on spending the rest of her life with a man named Eric, who she believes is the father of her twin boys. However, when their relationship took a brief turn for the worse, Regina made a big mistake.
Listen.
She had a one-night stand with another guy.
Back to the garden.
And this happened right around the time she got pregnant. So today Eric says he's 100% sure the twins aren't his sons, and Regina is desperate to prove to him that they are. Watch.
I'm here today because my life is a living hell. Eric denies both of our beautiful twins, and he refuses to do anything at all for them, and I'm so tired. Around the time that I got pregnant with my beautiful twins, I made a huge mistake and I cheated. But I'm positive he's the father of our twins. My kids need their father. Please help me prove this to Eric, that he is their father. Please help me.
Listen.
And things are so bad, you had to ask your neighbors for help?
I have to ask my neighbors, go door to door more and ask for diapers because he won't even bring them diapers. He won't give us money for food. He won't do nothing.
Wow.
What do you want to say to him?
Be a father. That's what he needs to be. Be a father. I don't care if you're even with me. Be there for the boys.
Okay, before the show, we spoke to Eric. This is what he had to say.
Listen.
I'm here today to prove that there isn't a chance in of Regina's twin. Regina is a world nosy. And these kids look
What's
Come
that?
on, man. Come on.
Nothing, huh?
Nothing.
Listen.
Nothing. They don't, Eric, they look just like you.
I'm a cartwheel in a minute.
Sorry.
You're gonna cartwheel?
Yeah,
I'm a cartwheel in a
you're
minute.
gonna
Are you
fall
trying to
the
tell me
ground.
I'm going to
It's what you're
cartwheel
gonna
in a
do.
minute.
Is he
She
a father
cheated
or a
one
clown?
time.
No, Maury, she
Listen.
cheated more than
No,
one.
I cheated
really?
one
She confessed to
time.
one, but the three other ones came up later.
No.
Yeah.
He's lying.
Three
Lord.
If they turn out to be yours, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna do what I got to do.
Well, I want them to have a dad. I want somebody to teach them how to be a man.
Listen.
That's what I want. No doubt in my mind, he is the father.
Look at him. Clown.
In the case of 2-year-old Nikolai, Eric, you are not the father.
That's what happened in the garden. Cain and Abel. Cain is not Adam's son.
In the case of 2-year-old Darian, Eric, you are the father.
Look at clown.
1 out of 2 ain't bad.
Look at clown.
1 out of 2
This is
ain't
exactly
bad.
what took place in the
I've
garden,
never had
family.
that on my show.
2 Corinthians chapter 11. Satan throughout the entire scriptures has had that way about him. However, before we continue in Genesis, let us see what Paul and Yahushua had to say on the matter. We've already heard Messiah in Christ's words in Matthew 13. We will read in 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 1, Would to Yah that ye would bear with me with a little folly, and indeed bear with me. The Apostle Paul is saying, I want to tell you what is really on my heart. 2 Corinthians 11, 2. For I am jealous over you with a Yahweh jealousy, for I have espoused you to one Akkad husband, that I may present you as a chaste virgin unto Messiah or Christ. The word espouse is to cause one to become engaged. What is the subject and object here? The subject is to present you as a chaste virgin, while the object is losing one's virginity. Christ is the husband, and we are the bride of Christ. This using a flesh term to explain a spiritual matter. Virginity is a state of condition relating only to the matters of a woman, a female. And when Christ called the ecclesia his bride, he expects us to behave as his bride. 2 Corinthians 11:3. But I fear lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety, so your mind should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Christ. In other words, you will turn away from the simplicity of reading Yahuwah's word. The word beguiled is Strong's Koine Greek number 1818, expatio, from 1537 and 538, to seduce wholly, to beguile, to deceive. In 1537, we read, it shows a point of origin. This verse has only one meaning, and that is not to be wholly seduced and lose your virginity as Kawa or Eve did. So in the Greek text, this verse would read, I am afraid you're going to lose your virginity as Kawa or Eve did, who was wholly seduced by the serpent. You see? So this is who beguiled her. And this is who planted the seed. Satan is the father of Cain, and Adam is the father of humanity. So yes, Satan has a physical seed on earth, and Satan is the one who deceived Eve in the garden. And if you have not seen this lesson here, which is on my channel, please do so. And as you see right here, Enoch 69 verse 6, the one who you've been calling Satan your entire life, his true name, according to the book of Enoch 69:6, is God Riel. So Satan's true name is God. And as it states in Revelations 12:9, he deceived the entire world and he has a physical seed right here on earth. Are you amazed by what you just learned? We have just learned that Cain's father was Satan, or God Riel himself. Cain was begotten of Satan, and therefore the serpent seed flows through Cain down through his descendants. So if Satan has his own literal offspring, let us track his lineage down through history, starting with the descendants of Cain. The serpent seed began with Cain and his descendants, called the Canaanites. It will then be shown that the serpent seed survived the flood. It then went through Ham's son, Canaan. Esau, which was a melanated black man, married a Canaanite woman and also became a part of the serpent seed. It then went through the Gibeonites, who were a Canaanite tribe of the Hittites. These Gibeonites then became the temple servants that are called Nithium. The Nithium took over the priesthood after the Babylonian captivity. The family of the scribes that ran the temple were called Canaanites. Make a mental note of that. The family of the scribes that ran the temple were called Canaanites. It then went through the Pharisees of Yahushua's day. The letter J was invented in the year 1524, 1,500 years after the New Testament was completed. The Messiah's true name was and is Yahushua. It then went through the Pharisees of the Messiah's day, who were not of the true lineage of Judah. You see, that's Revelations 2:9 and 3:9. The serpent seed then continues on through the end of the age. The Canaanites, the sons of Cain, and now thou art cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shalt thou be in the earth. You see? So that's Genesis 4:11 and 12. So basically, the descendants of Cain are prophesied to be homeless wanderers on the earth. They will not have their own land, but they will wander and feed off the land of others. They will also be fugitives, and you see it. So they wander around the earth, hiding in plain sight, pretending to be a people that they are not. Many say, well, elder, who are they? They're all around. They're all around. And they are the ones, the Canaanites. Look, the Hittites are a Canaanite tribe of the serpent seed. They were also Gideonites of Obed-Edom, who came from the Edomites that merged with the Canaanites. The serpent seed of the Canaanites, the sons of Cain, have taken over the priesthood that was supposed to belong to the Levites, who were melanated, as all 12 tribes were melanated. And the family of the scribes living at Jabesh, the Titharites, the Semikites, the Sukkites, all these were the Canaanites who descended from Hamath, the father of the family of Rechab. 1 Chronicles 2:55. The Canaanites or Canaanite family became the scribes. That's why it says in Jeremiah 8:8, the pen of the scribes is false. And as you see, according to the Zondervan's King James Compact Bible Dictionary, page 306, Canaanites, one of the 10 tribes of Canaan, and their top deity, you see it here, King James Zondervan's Study Bible. Look at what it says. This is footnote for Judges 2:13. Baal means Lord, the God worshipped by the Canaanites. So this is how we get LORD, GOD, JESUS, and all of these false names in our modern day scriptures, in which we call the Bible. They were put in there by the Canaanites, the sons of Cain. And Lord or Baal is their deity. Yahuwah Elohim never wanted us to refer to him as a God or LORD. He is our Father. Comment below, family. Like, share, and subscribe. I know the overwhelming majority of you have never, and I say this with all humility and humbleness. Many of you, respectfully, 60, 70, 80, 90 years old, including the so-called pastors and apostles, have never heard this level of teaching. As we get ready to wrap it up here, salvation is available to all. Let me share this with you. Pay attention, write this down. Book of Genesis, or Bereshit, chapter 4, verse 1. And Adam knew his wife Kawa, or Eve, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from Yahuwah. And she bare again his brother Abel. And Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain a tiller of the ground. And in the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought the fruit of the ground an offering unto Yahuwah. And Abel he also brought of the firstlings of the flock and of the fat thereof. And Yahuwah had respect unto Abel and his offering, but unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, or angry, and his countenance fell. And Yahuwah said unto Cain, Why art thou wroth or angry? And why is thy countenance fallen? And this is why we came here. Whether you are the seed of Adam or the seed of Cain, pay attention to verse 7. If thou or you doest well, this is to Cain, shall thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door, and unto thee shall his desire be, and thou shalt rule over him. So salvation is available to all. All Yahuwah Elohim wants us to do as a people is repent and return unto him. Yeshayahu, or Isaiah 56:2. Barak is the man that doeth this, and the Son of Man that layeth hold unto it, that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it, and keepeth his hand from doing any evil. Neither let the son of the stranger that have joined himself unto Yahuwah speak, saying, Yahuwah have utterly separated me from his people. Neither let the eunuch say, Behold, I am a dry tree. For thus saith Yahuwah unto the eunuchs that keep my Sabbaths, and choose the things that please me, and take hold of my covenant. Even unto them will I give in mine house, and within my walls a place and a name better than sons and daughters. And I will give them an everlasting name that shall not be cut off. And also the son of the strangers that join themselves to Yahuwah to serve him, and to Ahab, or love the name of Yahuwah, to be his servants, everyone that keepeth the Sabbath from polluting it, and taketh hold of my covenant, even them will I bring into my set apart mountain, and make them joyful in my house of Palau, called prayer. Their burnt offerings and their sacrifices shall be accepted upon mine altar, for my house shall be called a house of Palau, or prayer for all people. All the Father wants us to do is repent and return unto him. Whether you agree or disagree with this lesson, search the scriptures daily to see whether these things be so. Palau, or so-called pray for wisdom, understanding, and discernment. Let us walk in truth, humility, and love, or ahab, toward all people, toward all humanity. Much love and respect to all. Elder loves you. Until next time, shalom.